Good morning, Silver Beaver here. Walken and I are going to be doing the last southern section of the AT starting tomorrow, November 1st, 2017. We're hiking from Springer Mountain to Dix Creek Gap. We'll end up on Sunday, November 5th. But I haven't done a gear video in a while, so I thought it was time. Quite a bit of the gear has changed out and modified like we all do when we hike. Let me start with the big three. As you can see here is the Osprey Exos 58. I don't know if you can tell, but I did make a small modification. I put some shot cord on the outside, really just in case it rains. I can throw my raincoat or my tarp if it's real wet out on the back of that, and it will dry a lot faster than inside the pouch itself. As far as my sleep system, both the underquilt and the top quilt is by Light & Equipment. Very far left you'll see is the Revelation 20-degree bag. It's with the Down Tech. I think that's the 900 Fill Power Goose feathers, and the 20-degree underquilt from Light & Equipment is on the right. That's also with Down Tech, but that's 850 duck down, but that's the underquilt that I just purchased, like both of those. I do sleep in a hammock. The tarp on the very far left hand side, I think it's like 11 ounces. It is from Wilderness Logics. It is the tadpole. I use shot cord for my tie outs, and you'll see that down below. I think it's like 6 feet for each one, and then I use Zinget line with some Dutch wear gear, Dutch hooks, and fleas to tie it off to the trees. The Eno sub-7 hammock is what I sleep in. Yes, I know that's very small, but I'm not a very big person, so it seems to be adequate. I am looking at possibly purchasing later the Eno Super Sub, I think it's called. I think it's the same size as the Double Nest, but I think it's like a little over 9 ounces. The straps I use is the Eno Helio straps. They are a little bit short, especially if you go around big trees, so I've added some whippy slings components to that to make it a little bit longer. So hopefully if we have some time in camp, I'll show you that. And of course I've got 4 MSR groundhog steaks over to the right in a little plastic baggie just to keep the dirt out of the pack and everything. So that's the big three. Going through some other stuff I have, just electronics. I am using the iPhone 6. I'm going to be purchasing hopefully an 8 or a 10 a little bit later this year. I am taking a battery backup on this trip because it is 5 days. The little orange thing here, I think that is night ice. I found it in the Great Smoky Mountains on my last trip. I use it really to hold my phone if I'm taking pictures on the ground or something like that. That's what I'm going to use it for. I got a small little Leatherman knife there with tweezers and scissors and everything like that, cut duct tape and stuff. Little REI gizmos here just to hold things. I've rarely used those, but I have it out each time just in case I do need it on these trips. Bear rope. I've got some REI trekking poles, the cork grips I really like a lot. I've used those ever since I started these section hikes. I've got the Black Diamond headlamp. I think that's the 130 spot that I have. I've got the Thermarest Z-seat. I can't live without that, of course, and just a small piece of Tyvek just to lay on the ground in case it's wet. I think it's a 3x3. As far as the cooking system goes, I've stuck with this ever since the very first hike. I've got the Snow Peak 600 titanium pot, or mug if you will. I made a small koozie. This particular trip I've got the small canister of gas. It is new, so I should be able to do with that fine. The Snow Peak Light Max stove, just a small piece of towelette if you will, just to clean up the pot. Small big lighter. I've got 2 pieces of aluminum foil. One's for my cover for my pot to boil water, and the other one is in case the ground or something's cold. I put the stove on top of that so it would basically reflect the heat back up as well. Water filtration system, I'm using the larger Sawyer squeeze. The plastic bag is in case it's really cold at night. I can put it in there, and of course I'll like to sleep next to me so it won't bust the membranes and stuff and let this freeze. The Sawyer bag, I've got the little tornado connector. Sometimes I will connect the bag to the water bottle and just squeeze there. I am actually not taking that on this trip. I've decided not to, but I thought I'd show you anyway. Of course, I've got the 2 smart water bottles as well. As far as clothes and everything, pretty simple. It's supposed to be in the low 60s for a high. I think it's supposed to be in the low 30s for lows overnight. So pretty simple type of system here. Let's start with the short sleeve shirt. It's the smart wool shirt. This is just a bag that I put my clothes in. North Face pair of pants. It actually has a little liner in, so I don't have to have any kind of underwear. I've got the Under Armour top and bottom. The Ultras, I think these are the Lone Peak 3.0s. I've just got those, and I've only been on 1 trip with those, and they were great. 2 pair of Darn Tough socks. I'll just switch those out every day. Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. I've had that since the beginning. The Patagonia Puffy, I think this is called the down jacket. I've got 2 beanies, if you will, or things, one to go in my head and one to go around my neck in case it's cold. I can put my face on it, and of course I've got the bandana as well. And of course just a pair of gloves. So that's pretty simple as far as the clothes goes for this 5-day section hike. Thought I'd also show you some food that I'm going to take on this 5-day hike. I'll start with dinner. It's really just the Mountain House dinners. One night I'm actually having tuna salad, and I've got a smaller Mountain House that I put into a freezer quart bag. Last trip I did take the Mio Electrolytes drink. I know Watkins said that he's used that before. He thought it gave him a headache. It did not give me a headache on the last trip, and I really liked it. It's really small, very light, and it did give me a little bit of a way to refresh instead of just having water all day. As far as lunches, it's pretty simple. I'm going to be taking some tortilla wraps, and I'll be using the tuna and also the salmon. And I just have some packets to sweeten it up a little bit, a little hot sauce, Tabasco sauce and stuff. And I've got some cheese and some beef sticks as well. Breakfasts, 2 breakfasts are very far on the left-hand side. We're going to be eating on a run. We're going to be getting up and start hiking before we eat breakfast, because we have some long days on this trip. Just some Belvita bars, Swiss Miss hot chocolate, and some Nutri-Grain. Actually, the Swiss Miss hot chocolate actually goes over to the right with those meals. And of course, I've got some banana chips with that. The 2 days, the 2 breakfasts, we're going to be in camping and cooking. Of course, like I said, it's going to be the Swiss Miss, and also I've got some, I think it's called the Breakfast Skillet by Mountain House, and the freezer quart bags. As far as snacks, the Gorp with peanut M&Ms, raisins and stuff like that. I've got some sesame seed sticks that I'm going to be taking, some almonds and some pistachios. So that's pretty much it. I really didn't talk about my toiletry bag. I don't have a lot of stuff in here. It's the basic stuff. You know, towelettes, obviously tissue paper, medicines that I have to have, vitamins, things like that. I do have the little strips here for breath mints I use for toothpaste, and of course chapstick, earplugs in case I need those. The spoon I normally take on these trips are the Titanium Optimus spoon, and of course I've got a Sea to Summit 13-liter bag I use for my food bag. The baggies I have in the very back here are for me to package up 3 meals, all 3 separate types of meals. It's the dinners I package up in one, lunch, and of course I'll do the breakfasts in one of those baggies as well. That's pretty much it. I didn't talk about trekking poles. I'm sorry. Actually, I did talk about trekking poles. But that's pretty much it. If you have any comments, any questions for me, as always, I'll be glad to answer those. But I wanted to give you just a very quick glimpse of how my gear has changed since the last time I did a gear video. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Take care. Bye.